Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my Rome 2 Total War Rome 2 Sparta campaign. So this is actually a post recording of the audio, mainly because I mucked up DX story, so that is my fault. But yes, last time we left off we conquered a couple of settlements and we're going to do the same in this episode if I can remember correctly. Now what I was discussing at the start of the video was I was on patch... No, I'm on patch 4. It's the full 4th patch that's come out, and so there's been a lot of changes, and I haven't really noticed any differences. As you can see in this video, it's still a little bit on the laggy side, really, because they did say that you might need to restart your campaign to take that benefits, but I can't really do anything now. I'm kind of stuck with it, so I'm just gonna leave it and see how it goes. But this video is around 30 minutes long, so it's another one of these episodes where I have to talk for 30 minutes. And it's a lot harder to do when you're doing it post recording instead of when you're actually doing it. And just a quick update as well, in the next episode it cuts out halfway through because I ran out of space. So yes, it's not been going very well. However, I have been getting through it. I'm still battling a cold right now, so my voice is slightly different. It's kind of like more croaky and stuff like that, so if I do sniffles, you can tell what it's for. But anyways, you can see from the video right now, I'm kind of just checking my settlements. I want to make sure they're up to scratch. I'm being very careful with this Let's Play. I've done 2 other campaigns, one that I've completed, one that I've not. Well, the one that I've completed was with Rome, and that took me about a month to complete, because I did it quite slowly in a way, but I was doing it recklessly just to see how the game works and get through it. And the second campaign I'm doing is Parthia, and I'm doing that a lot better. But with this Let's Play, I want to make sure it's done properly, because it will save me time later on, as you will be able to tell. But yes, so at the moment I'm just sort of... I can actually view this full screen on my my computer, which is great. So I get to see exactly what I did in full screen in the full sort of quality it was outputted on. It's a little bit laggy on my screen, but it doesn't really matter because you guys won't be able to tell. So as you can see, I think I've got 5 armies being made right now. 3 of them are already done and 2 of them are being created. You'll see the 2 on the map there back in Sparta and Athens. So really my next course of action was to take out Segestica. And as you can see here, I'm sort of moving around, going back, checking the surrounding barbarian factions and what I need to do. Also, when I came back on, as you might see in a minute, if I can remember the stages I played this in, I got some more trade agreements, which was great. It will up and boost my economy quite a bit. So Singdom, I'm just kind of waiting for their public order to come down. I'm sort of testing out what it is to see to move out my troops. And as soon as I can and I'm ready, I will go and take Segestica. But as you can see here, you can see the 2 armies that I'm trying to create. I've also got a cup of coffee here, so I will be drinking this from time to time. Hopefully it tastes good, I don't know. It tastes good. So anyway, this is the end turn, so I will I'll talk through this actually because I did it in the actual recording, mainly because I wanted to see how fast it was that the turns would end for me, and it's not much faster than it was before. It is a little bit faster, but not as fast. And as you can see here, all these factions are asking me for non-aggression pacts, and I only choose ones that are either very far away, and I will see them as no threat for a long time, or if they are near to Rome. And I'll explain that why when it gets to that stage. But anyway, there's also the Biffy, and I'm not too keen on them sort of coming down to the corner of their lands. They're kind of defending. They know I'm going to come attack them, so that is what they're trying to do. So, yeah. In terms of armies, I do have like 3 armies just sitting there waiting to go out. But it's public order is a big thing in this game. And something I do need to work on because I always seem to make my provinces unhappy. But that army is getting ready to move into Segestica. And I think now is the time where I try and maybe get some trade. No? I do it at some point, I just can't remember. And as you can see, I'm moving up 2 armies. I think I'm ready to take the Biffies right now. I can't pronounce their faction properly. But as you can see, I've got 2 armies in place, so that means in the next turn I'll be able to do that. I'm going to upgrade my Temple of Athenia because it will help with my public order. And the reason why these places are unhappy is because of the culture. As you can see, it's 100% Celtic, whereas I'm a Hellenistic faction. Apollonia can be upgraded, so I think I was thinking of what I could put in Apollonia. And I think I chose... I'm not too sure what I chose. I might have chosen a shrine or a workshop. I can't tell what my thought process was. I think I was looking around the neighboring factions to see what they could take. Or maybe I just didn't do anything to it just yet. I'm not too sure. Anyway, right. Let's see what's going on now. So, the campaign's going very well. I've been recording steadily, slowly, and sort of straight to the point. I've been playing a lot of games at the moment, like Grand Theft Auto 5. I've been playing that quite a bit. I've also been playing a lot of Pokemon. That came out the other day. I don't know what some of you will be thinking. Pokemon. Well, if you don't like Pokemon, well, screw you, because Pokemon is awesome. I got Y, came out the other day, and I've been playing that, so that's been awesome. It's been great fun. And it's just something to relax with, you know, something less thought process wise. So as you can see here, I'm just going to try it and see if I can execute any of these generals. Any generals that have more than 1 star are worth trying to assassinate because of the abilities they may have. So I'm going to see what I can do there, but of course she can't reach in that turn. I think Ares Dread at the moment is my most veteraned out army. They've got silver to gold chevrons. And in terms of my technology, it's kind of been all over the place. I've been kind of researching war mostly, and I think soon I should start to learn more with my economy, even though my economy is growing really strong. Because of where I'm sitting on the map, it's kind of my ideal location because the enemies are only north to me, really. To the east across the sea, they are not really too much of an issue because they're fighting their own wars, and even further east, the Seleucids are they are, you know, at war with everybody else because they've got so many client states. But anyway, this is the end turn, and it does take a long time, so I'm going to stop talking here. Okay, and welcome back. So, military subversion. This was annoying, I can remember this. Basically, they managed to halt my army where it was. The only thing is I don't know how to do that with other factions. I don't know. They can do it to me. And as you can see here, our royal family influence is 53% to 47%, which is great. I do not want other families gaining more influence. And if you guys don't know yet, what that does is politics are quite big in this game because they create what's called the civil wars for your faction. Now I faced 2 of these in my other campaign. Parthia really earlier on, and Rome when my empire grew huge. And basically what happened with Rome was they took one of my provinces up in the north in Gallia, and it was like 10 stack armies. However, seeing as it was back in the earlier patches, they hadn't really, I don't know, they really hadn't done anything. They came out at me, but they never attacked any of my other provinces, and eventually they started to decrease in number because of their income couldn't support their troops, and then I basically sent my armies out to fight them. But a couple of times they managed to get a couple of smart moves. They managed to get some ambushes, which was interesting. But yes. Anyway, and in Parthia, I actually let the other families grow too big, and that caused a civil war in my home province. And that was really hard because there was, with Parthia, it's a horse faction. You've got horse archers and you've got cataphracts, and that's the main contingent. You've also got your sword. But because of that, man, the battles I had to fight, they were hard to regain my provinces because I only had a couple of armies. But I managed to do it successfully in a couple of hours, which was great. But anyway, I'm now trying to attack the Biffy. And as you can see here, I think I take this to them because I wanted to show you guys a fight. I hadn't fought anybody for a while, so I was like, you know what, might as well play this. So I did. As you can see here, we're loading in. Now it is going to be an easy victory, of course. This was also me testing out what patch 4 had brought to the new units. And I'd heard stuff like pikes were quite bad, and you can see in this video the result of what I was thinking and what other people have said. The enemy army's got quite a lot of skirmish, and they've got a couple of spears, but they're nothing really too interesting. I missed out that they had that mercenary Dacian longbowman, and I was like, what? And they had arrow fires firing upon me, because I thought, because they're skirmish units, like javelin style units, their range I think is 100 compared to 125 of archers, and then your slingers is 150. But anyway, so I'm loading my men in. I've got a lot of skirmish heavy units. I've got 3 helot archers and 3 of my javelinmen, or peltas I think they're calling this. I've then got my citizen cav, which is awesome heavy cavalry. They're pretty much the only cavalry that Sparta has. But if you know me well, and you know me from my other campaigns, no matter what Total War game it is, I do love cavalry. And when I used to play Shogun 2 online, cavalry would be my main focus point. But anyway, here I'm just putting my men into groups. I think I'm going to put them in one big group. There we go. And we're going to start. Basically going to move them up. Yeah, I just have the advantage of the forest. However, I don't think they decide to move forward until I bait them forward, so they kind of just sit there. You can see some really cool close-ups of the enemy men. There you go, you can see some faces. And yes, I really like how the graphics work for this game. I wish I would get some better frame rates. If you don't know what graphics card I have yet, I've got a GTX 780. So it's a high-end NVIDIA graphics card. And it was to replace my Radeon 6950. Now that was an awesome card and I loved it. I only had it for about a year and a half, but I did love it. And I still have it at home. I keep it in my home computer. But basically what I did was I sold that computer, made a brand new one from scratch, because I sold the other computer to my family. So now I have an awesome computer, i7, saber-tooth motherboard and stuff like that. So it's a really high-end machine. I only paid like £500 for it as well. And yeah. I kind of upgraded my PC bit by bit. I did work a lot of the time, so I had the money to do it. So really what I'm trying to do is bait the enemy forward. That or start an engagement with my skirmishers, because I know they will get the first shots off. So I'm trying to get some shots fired, and I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit weary because they might turn around. As you can see here, I got some shots off. It hit them and it didn't do anything, and that unit got hit a little bit. And this is when I realized, oh wait, they're firing back at me, but they don't have the range yet. What's going on? And I look through the woods and I see these mercenary Dacian bowmen, a little long bowmen, okay. And I was like, crap, okay, well let's fire focus on them. They've got their flaming arrows, so they'll be doing some damage. And me, yeah, I just sort of gets a little bit angry because they know they'll probably lose this battle. And they decide to come out and attack me. So I'm obviously going to take my skirmish units back. If the AI was smart enough, they would have realized that I had left my skirmish units way out in the open and come and attack the skirmish units. But I don't think the AI reacts as much as that as a human does, so I really took almost no losses, maybe 1 or 2 per group or something like that. But now the AI is doing something weird, I don't know. I'm playing on the very hard battle difficulty, and I think in my next Let's Play I'm going to play it on Legendary, because this game seems a lot easier than Shogun 2 was on Legendary. I didn't even dare play a campaign on Legendary for Shogun 2, it would be just too hard. Sometimes I would struggle on normal just because of how the game worked. You know, like certain factions like the Takeda, you'd be up against many factions that are just right next to you, so it wouldn't be worth it. So I'm getting some more shots off, and starting to get some kills. I'm going to let my units just fire on them for a minute or so until such a time where I can retreat them into my pike wall. Okay, and I accidentally just ended that recording, and I need to do a new one. But as you can see, I'm just sort of pulling my units back up into my men, and some of my archers are kind of sort of like skirmishing back and forth. still getting a couple of shots off. And I'm going to move my cavalry round, and so they can start, and then I'm going to put my pike wall in the phalanx. I think they already are in their phalanx mode. I'm just going to pull back my units, and now basically this was my test to see how well the pikes were. Like, I can remember in the other patches they would kind of like come through your pike wall, and in this one your men do a lot better. As you can see here, they're just sort of being pushed back away, and they really have no hope of surpassing that pike wall. And as you can see here, I did lay my cavalry out in the open. However, I think missiles have been completely nerfed, and they're really weak compared to what they used to be. So, as you can see there, my cavalry was sort of sitting around for a couple of their volleys. Normally after the first volley, your missile units do a lot better. And they only killed one of my horses, so I was getting kind of like, even though that was the AI attacking me, I still feel they should have gotten more kills. And I was sort of like thinking to myself, you know, I hope they nerf back missile, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just because I've got an older campaign on a newer patch. And if you're wondering about the reason why I accidentally ended that last recording bit there, was because I wanted to try and put the preview to full, so I wouldn't have the lagginess of what I was getting before. So now I can review this in the actual recording I had it in, and it's in pretty good condition. So as you can see here, their missiles are actually also firing on my Spartan Hoplites, and as you can see from the units down below, they're not doing anything. And I was waiting for the spear horsemen to rout, and I luckily managed to break them now. And as you can see as well, look, they're firing, you know, missile units into cavalry, which is big targets, and they're not doing any damage. So I don't know what's going up with that. And as you can see here, my missile units, I think there's 3 of them firing on one of their units. And as you can see here, it's not doing that much damage. It's killing them very slowly. So they've made skirmish a lot, to me, it feels like they made it a lot worse. And skirmish was quite powerful in this game at the beginning. You know, you could like take 3 skirmish units and you could completely decimate an infantry unit that was coming towards you, even the likes of a legionary cohort. And finally, after a while, we managed to break this unit. I wish I'd looked upon how many men they had left. I think I may do it. They have 43. So they did break, but it took a lot of time. I think maybe as well for this battle, so I might be wrong. It might be the fact that they're in a forest and they've got a lot of cover that calls them this sort of thing. But as you can see here, I'm firing more missiles into it. Now I do have flaming missiles on as well, so I know that does decrease accuracy, but in the earlier versions it didn't do that much. So as you can see here, now the enemy have retreated back to their higher location, past the woods and stuff like that. They've still left some of their men out in the open. And this is the bit where I think I was really watching it to see if my arrow fire would be doing anything. So as you can see here, there's a lot of missiles coming through, but only like 2 or 3 kills maybe per volley. And the same on the enemy side. Like they put a lot of missile fire into big block chunky units like my Spartan Hoplites. Didn't do anything. Didn't even phase them or kill any of them really. And as you can see here, I think after this I sort of get a little bit tired of this skirmish engagement. None of my units are killing them fast enough, and I think this is the point now where I'm just gonna march my line forward, leaving my general, stupidly enough, but it doesn't really matter, he's not needed. Let my archers fire, get my cavalry in to help with maybe hammer and anvil. And so as you can see here, their missile units are just going to sort of sit there. They're kind of going to be stuck in there after a while. And as you can see, my men are moving forward. Periodic pikemen, Spartan pikemen. Really awesome looking units. Very strong and powerful. And this unit here is going to stop. And then attack order, and that unit's just gone. So as you can see here, they're attacking down the front of my line, and my pikemen do an awesome job. They're perioikoic pikemen as well. They're not the best sort of pikemen. And as you can see here, they've got some good spear units coming into my men, and they're just not going to be able to do well. So really now it's just like a mopping up job. So as you can see here, I'm going to get a nice hammer and anvil with 1 cavalry, 2 cavalry, and then the 3rd is going to go into their skirmishers. And as you can see here, that's just pushed their units into my pikes. and it's causing the most damage you could think. I've also got, I think, a unit of Spartan Hoplites just in the back there. Or Perioicoic, I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. And at this point, I think the match is pretty much over. This AI match. There's not really much going on. Most of their units are routing. There is still a skirmish unit, I believe, and I'm gonna try and engulf their spear nobles. So I think a hoplite unit will actually end up hitting it first. Yeah, a hoplite unit will end up hitting it, and then put them into phalanx mode. And then I'm gonna attack them from over here with my cavalry, and that's the end of it. So that's the end of the battle there. It was a really long battle, but it was me kind of testing out the basically the patch to see what it had done, and I'd figured out that missiles had not been nerfed in a bad way, and apart from that, there we go, we got a victory. So I just sort of sped it up here. I wanted to kill as much men as I could. That's something I have realized from the new patches. When the game first came out, when you chose your cavalry units to try to swarm the routing units, they would never kill them, but now they do, and that's quite good because I like doing that. For one, it means that the army has a less chance of coming back, and two, it can earn your cavalry some chevrons. So if you've ever noticed in my other campaigns, whenever I have like cavalry, they're always like 3 gold star. It's because of the amount of routing units they kill, as well as the hammer and anvils they pack. But as you can see there, I lost only 88 men. They lost 1,419, and I think the most casualties I took were just from my cavalry. And as you can see there, my infantry block, which was being heavily under fire by their archer units, same with my archers, remain pretty much untouched. So that's where I'm getting the basis that missiles are nerfed badly. So here we go. I'm gonna do a auto resolve here, mainly because I know it'll be very easy to take them out. Really don't have a force that is causing much of an issue. And as you can see here, I'm going to get a rank up, put it on my general, and then change and put some I'm gonna put some new technology on. I was thinking, what was I gonna put on? I think I did go for the technology route. Or hopefully I did. That would be the smart move to me, because I need more income because of the new armies that I'm building. So yeah, there we go. They do have one more army, and I was thinking they might come to Singdom and try and take it. And I was like, if you want to do that, it's fine, because I'll just take Biffy and then I'll come back. Or Zemajestica, I thought that was actually what their province was called, or their settlement capital. So as you can see here, we're getting ready to take Segestica, and I'm building an armory. And I'm sort of thinking to myself, no, I'm gonna wait and get something better for it. As you can see here, I'm checking what other sort of technology I need for other types. And what I was going to go with is the workshop that allows me to have more attack and slightly less defense, because I really think that my units have awesome defense, but their attack is just not that good. So whereas some of my units, like my archers, could use with both, my hoplite units, pikemen units, cavalry, they could probably just use with attack bonuses. And that's at the end of the turn. I'll wait till my spy goes and I'll stop talking now. So they're offering a peace treaty. I'm going to reject that. Okay, I did that a little bit slowly. These guys want a non-aggression pact. If they just got given me a normal non-aggression pact, I might have taken it. But because of the fact that they're asking for money, I'm not going to take it. Whenever a faction ever asks me for any money with a non-aggression pact, unless it's so small, I will not give it to them. So there is my statesman returned. If you were watching carefully, at one point or another, I switched out one of the other family members for Nikon, who was my most aspiring general. And I think he's still around, but he's very old, so he's probably going to die soon. So now I can finally take Segestica after being halted for a turn with a military subversion. And I'm going to just auto-resolve it, even though it's only 78% chance of winning. I probably could have fought that, but because I'm not going to use this army again soon, I can just let them replenish, which would be probably in the next turn or two. So now they've been forced out of their last province, and they are now I keep saying province, settlement, and they're now going to die from not enough funds, food, and land. So apart from that, that faction will be taken out eventually, and I really need to take out that war maiden who did that. So there we go. I managed to wound her, and I don't know what will happen to her. I don't know if she will come back, because normally they get revived at one of the settlements, but they don't have any now, so I don't know what's going to happen there. I think the video is coming to an end soon though. I think I just go around with a little bit more sort of management. I may end up just stop talking randomly because of the fact that I'm watching this in full screen, so I don't know how long it's got left. But anyway, I'm just going to say this now just to save some time. If you like the video, remember to give it a like, comment and subscribe. If you've not already done, it does help me out a lot. I am trying to make videos slowly and my popularity is slightly going down, and it's really because I'm still in the middle of a couple of campaigns which I haven't really been posting, and the fact that this campaign hasn't caught on that much yet, so if you could broadcast it slightly if you wanted to, that would be grateful. But I hope you guys are enjoying it. I know I'm getting some views for it, and be prepared to see a lot more of Total War Rome 2, because it's what I'm playing at the moment and it's really fun. Now I'm not going to attack that province yet. I actually take my army out of there because of the fact that if you look carefully there, I was poisoned, and if you look at some of my hoplite units, they've lost a lot of men. So I'm now going to retrain for a turn and then probably end up going back, but I think they try and attack me again. Poison takes a couple of turns where it just hurts your men. Finally, I think to end this video, I was sort of looking at my armies, because I have the money now. So I'm looking at what I'm going to choose for it. Unfortunately, I've run out of Spartan Hoplites. I can't use them anymore. Basically, I've got my max number of them. So I'm just going to use some Spartan pikemen and periodic Hoplites. Once I start to get slightly further into this game, I think I'm going to go across to Rome. I'm going to start recruiting auxiliary units. And that'll be a big change. My main force units won't be Spartans, they will be auxiliaries, which will be great. Now I'm going to still keep my core heavy Spartan armies, but it'll be really interesting to see. And then I'm getting some trade. This is finally where I'm getting some trade, I think. No? Oh my god, it must be in the next video. I'm sure I got trade in some of these. There we go. Please. Yes, I did. This is where I finally got some more trade. Because I was looking around on this menu and I was realizing that there are a couple of different factions that aren't angry at me and I can trade with them, so that would be good. And as for my objectives, this is something you should always check if you're playing this game, because it can give you a giant boost of income, especially when you complete the all-rounder objective. But the bonuses are good to obtain as well. So really, at the end here, this is the last place that I will take in the next episode, and you'll see. So Jessica is now mine, Ader and Delminium are now mine, and pretty much most of Greece, and pretty much all of Greece is mine, and now it's just sort of into the north of Europe, or sort of more the east-north of Europe. And my next goal, if you haven't already guessed it, I'm going to go into Rome, and that's why I want to sort of get some sort of non-aggression pacts with these factions north to it. I think the Etruscan League is gone, so Rome pretty much contains the boot, but they do not have any factions. They haven't taken any factions north. They might be attacking Carthage, I don't know. On the map, it's not very there. Syracuse is still there, so they're Greek. They are Hellenistic. So I think as soon as I bombard most of the boot and the heel of the boot, they will come under control, and the sort of culture will come directly to Hellenistic. But here we go, got the end turn again, so I'm just going to let this play through. There might be some non-aggression packs, but I don't think it's that interesting. Okay, so this is a noble death. I think there was 2 noble deaths, yes. So Ares Dread needs a new general, and then so does Agamemnon's Pride. Now I think there were 2 of my family members that died, and one of them was the leader with the most gravitas. And as you can see, Leonidas is going in to help train this other group of units here. When it comes to the end of 30 minutes of talking, it's very hard to keep going. I think when you record live, it's a lot easier because what you're doing is up to date and you can always have something to talk about. When you've got something you've already done before, you've got to kind of think of what you're doing on the spot, and it's a lot harder. I was trying to chase that unit out and I was like, oh, god damn them, they're just running around. And what they do now, instead of what they did in the old patches, was in the old patches when a faction runs out of settlements, they will instantly try and attack another settlement to get it back. And in this one, instead of now, they make use of the raiding stance, which means they can gather some coin through raiding, and they can also maintain their units slightly. So that's what they try and do. They're more of a nuisance now. They sort of stick around instead of attacking you and get, you know. So basically, it's up to you to get rid of them. And apart from that, if not, they'll just stay there. So as I said, I didn't know when this video was ending. I sort of said goodbye quite early. But I'm just sort of maintaining my settlements, which is something I should always do, and I got to spend a lot more time doing it. It is slightly boring to watch, but it is what's needed, and it will make a big difference later on this campaign when I've got a lot of factions against me. I've got my own civil war, and you know, that'll be interesting. So I think this is about where I end it. Or no, one more end turn. Okay, so I'm back. Military subversion attempt. That means they tried to do it again. Just didn't work. As you can see, my men are still sort of poisoned and stuff like that. And a new general has appeared here, and I was like, oh crap. I think there is a way to stop, to take out a rebel army like that, really, by killing their commander. And as you can see here, I'm going to come over and attack this place. This is definitely where I ended the video. I know this now. I can remember it. So as you can see here, we have a very bad chance of winning this. However, as you'll see in the next video, I will make use of what army I have, and I'll show you what the results come to. Anyway, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'll be back to bring you another video soon. So